Point live tonight. We're going to do a public service, and we're going to find a printer.
Oh my god! Holy crap! I was doing math all last night. I was getting fucking pissed off about it. I was doing numbers. I was getting overwhelmed by the fact that this guy's retarded. Retarded. Oh my god! It was awful. Holy crap!
I couldn't see them, but I'm pretty sure there were veins popping out in his headpiece.
Even I said I was going to have an aneurysm last
night. Finally!
Oh! Of all days.
It's on its way, sir. Hold on a second. Finally. And it's on a day that we hadn't intended. That was all right. Give me just a second. All righty. Paste. All right. I sent it on my at Optimus Deadpool account. You'll probably have a few other links in there, but it'll be the last one I just sent, sir.
You mean to tell me that the hunt for green November?
The hunt for green supremacy has finally been accomplished without without poor Xavier.
Oh no! Oh no! Poor Xavier.
Well, maybe he'll hop in when he gets off work if he can make it that long. Oh, that's funny. Whereas Raptro is in the process of moving at the moment. He is moving to Texas from the hellhole, socialist hellhole that is was it Oregon or Washington? I forget which one it is.
They're more or less the same.
That area, the Pacific Northwest. He's getting the hell out of there. Smash like now, plebs. Yeah, all 8 of you. Yeah.
Do it.
Let's see here. Yeah, poor guy. Yeah, poor feller. No, he's actually excited. He was what was he telling us the other week? He said like he's glad he was leaving so he could break up with his girlfriend because all his girlfriend wants to watch is Batwoman and Watchmen.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let me add him to the stream. Hello, sir.
Hi. Nice to be on Graded Point 5 live.
I appreciate it. We've only been paying you super chats for the past 3 or 4 months.
I know. Thank you. Yeah, I saw that I was supposed to be there yesterday. I think was that the night that I drank a whole bottle of wine and ate a 1-pound gummy bear and passed out?
Yes,
it was.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, guys, I have bad news.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I can't explain that. It's just, it is what it is.
A 1-pound gummy bear just fell into my mouth, and I had a whole bottle of wine.
If you had seen it, if you had only seen this 1-pound gummy bear, you would have eaten the whole thing too in one sitting. I like gummy bears.
I just ate like a whole package of like those little tiny mini donuts with the sugar frosting on them.
Oh, those are a problem for me too. Those are a problem. Entenmann's brand anything is a problem.
That's a good brand.
Yeah,
that's a good brand.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I saw your stream. Well, actually, I listened to your stream earlier because I was driving. Yeah, about your all the stuff that you've been hearing and seeing and all that stuff. Trying to think. There's one thing that stuck out to me was one thing. When's my frog book coming? No, I'm just playing.
It's coming soon. It's coming soon. Yeah. We're within days now. Within days. Let me just put it that way. So
yeah. Because I keep telling people, they say, "Where's my frog book?" I said, "Did you get the Ashcan?"
The Ashcan is the holdup, and it's it's frustrating. It's frustrating for you guys. It's frustrating for me, but it is what it is. And I'm not gonna. This is the thing. I do not like to give excuses. I just go, yes, I know you don't have your Ashcan. I know it's coming. It's coming. I know. And that's kind of the way I like to deal with things. I don't like to sit there and kind of wave my hands. I more like go into a a trance and I work and I just kind of wait for everything to write itself. But those ash cans are on the way. I posted 4-page preview on Twitter just now, and you guys should look at it.
Oh yeah, that's the one I said. The Salamandroid picture was amazing to me.
Oh yeah, I've been looking at that.
And I said that should be a poster. That looks so awesome.
Pull it up. Let's look at it.
Yeah, sure thing. Let me
see. This is a visual medium. YouTube. We can actually look at things. Fizz giggity. You know.
Yeah.
You can call her Piper. She's a
Piper.
Yeah.
And you're an evil Bob the Almighty. Are you just Bob?
I you know what? Either works.
I'll call you Evil Bob. I like that.
Yeah.
Evil Bob.
Well, now it's cemented forever.
Now it's a Twin Peaks reference.
Let me get this. Oh yeah, I can share here. I'm just learning StreamYard. I've been using other means to stream lately, but I found we did it the other night. So this is so easy.
Yeah, it is. It's I mean, I like it. It's better than Google Hangouts. And I was afraid to let go of Google Hangouts. But it turns out that this is much, much better.
It was funny for those couple of like weeks where you boomers were like, what do we do without Google Hangouts?
Oh, it was scary. Everybody was terrified.
All
right, hold on. I can share the art. Just click
sure.
My thing down there.
Yeah, the
add to thing. Okay.
Oh, that's not it. Oh yeah, I see it now. Okay.
Can you see it? Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
Let me do a reading.
All right.
So what do I recall on that last day? The last day I wasn't afraid. On the last year I saw a calendar. On the last day that I saw my best friends. I remember it was a completely normal day. Around 11 a.m. I went to work at Chicken Fry and burned my wrist on the hot fryer. I was working more summer hours than anyone else because I was saving for a car. A car meant no more bus schedules. A car meant I could finally tell my mom and Eric to go to hell. By the way, that's Eric Larson. I named Heather Swain's dad after Eric Larson.
Nice.
Fuck that guy.
Nice.
Of course, now they're both dead. Almost everyone is. And then there was Froggy and Sal. Okay, so I remember this. Didu Ron. But because I'm clever, I called him Salamandroid or Sal for short. Oh man, I wish you had seen him. He looked like a big, beautiful dragon, but he was nice, you know, like a puppy dog, big sweetheart, unless you messed with his brother. Anyhow, Sal told me that he had to meet up with Shock Roach, a member of Rush Hour, the super-powered organized crime syndicate. Yeah, back then, Philadelphia was infested with these weirdo insect-human hybrids and clones that were always up to no good. Seems quaint now. And here's Shock Roach. He says, yes, you magnificent animal. Come closer. That's close enough. Heal. You want to know about the bomb? Roll over. Beg. Do a trick for me. And Salamandroid just blows the fuck out of him with dragon breath. There's my trick. Sal got tipped off that Polynate and Rumblebee were going to drive a bomb across the Walt Whitman Bridge that evening to be delivered to Scorpion, boss over most of Philly. Why? I don't know. But that's what he told Froggy when they both met up with me at the house later. At that moment, Trick Ron or Cyberfrog was busy downtown with this wacko. And Cyberfrog's like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Boom. And this is Tromadeus. He's singing Mbop by Hanson. You know, really loud. Cyberfrog's like, nah, you sick bastard. He's got a Philly accent. So Tromadeus was some kind of Frankenstein's monster street musician made of organ parts instead of organs and parts. He could create a digital piano keys out of thin air, and he played music that hurt people. I met him once. He smelled horrible and sounded worse. I always felt like the cops should handle nuisances like this, but I guess nobody in the public sector was paid enough to deal with a chattering zombie performing Barbie Girl loud enough to split your skull. And I think that's partially why this happened. Okay, there you go. That's my preview.
That actually gave me like a bit of chills because just the art. Oh my gosh.
I appreciate it. I'm so excited about Cyberfrog. I wake up every day excited about it, and it's a real privilege to get to do this. Not a lot of people do. Most people have to slave away, it seems like, on other people's IPs. But because of Comicsgate and everything that we're doing, we all get to do our own stuff. It's nice.
Well, you see, Ethan, obviously the reason, I can understand as a business owner myself, things happen, right? Like when,
sure.
Like your thing with printing and stuff like that, you didn't foresee the thing with the chromium covers, that you had to, had to be
God.
finagle. I hate to use the word finagle, but that's the best word I can come up with. Finagle, things like that. And God, I was watching Matt Wanger a few minutes ago, and he's like, he was talking about our new favorite printer.
Oh yeah, that's what your show's called. Are we going to talk about that? Are we going to
definitely. Okay. But see, if you'd have just bought your own printing press, and
well, I mean, or if I had just mined the ore to make metal to flatten out into sheets in order to build my own printing press rather than buy it, I wouldn't have been worried about money. If I had cut down a forest and pulped that wood into paper, then I wouldn't have to be worried about paper either. It's it's about being a do-it-yourselfer. That's what it's about.
Fucking grapes. I was straight up having an aneurysm yesterday because we didn't have a stream, but we were hanging out, and I had to go through the fucking math because the George thing was fucking me up. It's fucking me up right now.
You can tell he's really excited about this. Yeah, he was. I call him Mike, but Evil Bob. Evil Bob went through, did the math on what did you do, Mike? You found the least costliest laser jet printer that could print in color to be even possibly capable of doing such a thing, and he just disconnected.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, look, in any case, I think home-brewed comics, handmade, homemade comics are not what people are paying a premium for. It's like if somebody's paying $25 for a comic book, you better give them a professional comic book. You better give them something that's industry standard and not something that you staple together, something one step above Kinko's. That's just, I don't think that's acceptable. And I don't think saying, well, yeah, I did it myself and I'm being economical, I'm a big do-it-yourselfer. I don't think that's a good excuse for tormenting the customers with an inferior product. Welcome back, Evil Bob.
Okay. Sorry about that. My cat knocked out the plug from behind my microphone, and apparently LiveYards or StreamYards will kick you out if you don't have a microphone. But it was an enterprise printer from HP that would print in 11 by 17 inches. That's twice the standard paper. That makes a really big book, right? And it can only print out to 20 pages per minute, and that's up to. And we had such ridiculous numbers attached to this because at the enterprise level, you need it takes like a 400 watt plug just to feed this damn thing when it's printing, and then
AKA not allowed in any municipality unless you're a business.
You need a commercial license to run these damn things.
Which I can only assume means that either he's got one or is in trouble or is actually using like a little HP printer. Like
doubt.jpg.
And I figured that if all they're making is those floppies with like the saddle stapling and that's it, that's all they're limited to, because there's no way they're going to get licenses to deal with that much glue in house to do more than 32 pages. But if you printed we were using your fraud book, for example. We were printing 8,400 floppy books because
holy shit,
8,400 floppy books just to fulfill your 80 page comic book, right?
Yeah.
So I figured out that it would have cost like $12,330 worth of this particular printer's cartridges just to print all those books out.
That's just the ink.
Yes, that's just ink. Ink tone.
Okay, that doesn't seem economical. It doesn't seem like a good use of anyone's time, a creative person's time. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody like George, Alexopoulos, is somebody who shouldn't be, with all due respect, he's not somebody that should be doing grunt work like this. I say this as respect for him as a creative person. Draw some more fucking comics, or make videos, or do anything creative, and let other people do stapling for you. Dummy.
That whole. I've seen so many staple memes today. It's like, I think Donald DeLay had a good one. He said, I really love the idea of going to sit on the floor for hours on end pushing staples to a comic book.
It's a waste of time. It's just a real waste of time.
And then once he mentioned that he was going to get a consumer level printer, and I was like, no, stop. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting everyone you love. You're hurting because consumer level printers can't handle anything outside of legal, and legal it's a big page, but you're getting basically Archie comics out of that thing.
Yeah, it's like you would basically be printing. The most you could print is ash cans, and even then, I think it would be small. But anyway, here's a picture of we found on. This is like the cheapest commercial grade that we could find.
That could handle 5 colors.
That could handle 5 colors, and was under $85,000. So, and it's used.
Yeah,
and it can do 54 sheets a minute apparently. So
where would you keep that? I mean, that's
you just keep it put in your bedroom.
Put your garage.
Your garage, yeah,
garage,
fine.
It'll poke out the side of your garage. But
your wife would like this, right? She said, it's fine.
Well, yeah.
Just break some laws,
Yeah,
or you could just hire a printer to do it.
Now
cheaper.
we're not talking about practicalities here. We're talking about being your own man. And
I always here's the thing. Like when you get a little bit older and you start kind of making a good living. I mean, I've realized this in my 30s. I would sit there and go, no, I'm no longer going to mow my own lawn. Why is that? Because of what I make an hour versus what I would have to pay someone else to do it in that time. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, again, everything has to be kind of economy. It's like, all right, so if I make $100 in an hour drawing a comic book, then and like somebody wants to spend 1 hour mowing my lawn for $30. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense for me to mow my own lawn. At that point, you hire gardeners. You do that. You kind of hand off.
Good night.
Keep you busy. To people who will do it cheaper. And that's, I think, the case. I think that's what you're supposed to do when it comes to printing. I don't think you're supposed to be doing that yourself. When you're somebody like George, who earned $13,000 on his crowdfunded campaign, you should probably do another one of those and then hire somebody else to do the busy work, putting the books together. That's, and in all aspects of life, consider that. So, what is my time worth, and is this worth my time?
Yeah, that's that's kind of like what my dad always said. If you're going to do, get the best, hire the best. You can't do everything. My pops he's a plumber, and he always says, like, somebody says, like, I need my kitchen sink faucet fixed. I can do that. I also need this door jamb fixed. I am not a carpenter.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, I could put a nail into your door jamb and make it, work, but it doesn't mean it's going to be the best quality. That's just the way it is. I don't understand if you got ability and you got the means, okay, but it doesn't seem.
It depends on what you want to be. Do you want to be a comic book artist, or do you want to be a comic book printer? One of the two.
Exactly. Yeah. And and the fact that he was like so smarmy to Peter Samedi about it, and then plays the victim after he was the one being the jerk.
What was weird is I thought he was joking at first when he was just like, just buy a printer. I was like, oh, haha, LOL. That's a good one. And but then, like, I guess a lot of people thought he was joking, and he got pissed.
I'm not joking.
Just got super rude about it, and was I'm over here making extra money because I'm printing my comics and other people's comics.
Yeah, but how much did he pay for his equipment? And then he's not. I mean, you got to look at cost effectiveness. If he paid a lot of money for the printer, he's not really making money
yet. But maybe in the future, maybe eventually it'll pay for its $61,500.
I mean, I've seen George's campaign.
He said that it already paid for itself.
Oh,
apparently. So I can't imagine it was that expensive.
Like I said, I didn't get any of his other books. I mean, we had him on the show when he had his first campaign here, and I think you did too early on. That was around the same time. Yeah. When we thought he wasn't crazy. And then then all this stuff happened, and I started looking into it and stuff like that. And I'm like, I mean, I can't vouch for quality because I don't have it. I'm not going to say, oh, it's actually good quality or it's not. I'm not going to make that determination. But I can only imagine that it wouldn't be all that great. But he did promise, Ethan, there would be no fluting on the pages.
Okay, cool.
Because everything revolves around you, right? So, I mean, I just said, you just coming on the show tonight, now we're involved in this conspiracy.
Oh, okay. I mean, and that is true. That is sad, but true. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like that sometimes. And then people say, why are you a narcissist? I'm like, because the world actually does revolve around me. Look at Twitter. These people cannot shut up about me for 1 second. I mean, it's so weird. I don't know who any of these people are. Why talk about me?
Oh, it's funny. Piper is probably like out of our group has the most followers, and she'll go through like maybe a couple of days to a week of crazy stuff that happens. And I'm just thinking, okay, she has about 4,000 Piper people follow you. Yeah. And I can just imagine what you have to go through daily. Right?
It's
there has to be days you like go to log on Twitter, you're like and
well, I just go, this is going to end at some point. Like at some point people are going to get over this, and we're just going to all move on, because there are things that I want to do, and I want to keep going with Comicsgate. I want to keep marketing and selling other people's books. I want to keep marketing and selling my own books. So it can't always be like this. And I kind of go, eventually they're going to realize that I mean them no harm. Like I'm not out to hurt them. And then, it'll just stop. But I'll put on any random Comicsgate or even comic book oriented live stream and just listen. And I go, I'm going to count. I'm going to see how long it takes for them to bring up my name. And it's like 2 minutes tops. It's like 2 minutes. There's a reference to me. And I was like, God. Everyone relax. So that was the thing. I did a live stream this morning in my car that was just like, again, reassuring people that like about what my intentions are, what I want, and so on and so forth. And
it's that thing that you grasped with both hands.
Yes.
I'm sure War Campaign's gonna have fun with that one.
Oh, God only knows. Yeah. We will see. But yeah, it's just everyone settle down. Let's market. Let's do some YouTube videos. Let's sell some comics, and let's have some fun.
That's my thing, man. It's like, when this is supposed to be fun. This is comic books. It's not like life or death or meth or anything else.
The white drugs.
Yeah. I'm these folks have seen
it. I'll never forget Edwin Boyette's face. He's just like, Ethan Van Sciver made a serious allegation about me that is untrue. He called me a drug user. I have never used a white drug in my life. I'm like, why do you have to qualify it? What is a white drug? What are you talking about?
I remember I showed that clip to Evil Bob, and he said, well, that meth is blue.
Yeah. I've watched Breaking Bad. That's the extent of my knowledge about meth. And it's blue. The good stuff is blue, from what I understand.
Or brown, or like.
If you're getting off the dirt floor, it's brown, but we're talking high quality,
Ask me if I'm a drug user. just ask me. Say, Ethan, are you a drug user?
Okay, Ethan, are you a drug user?
No, I don't use drugs.
Okay,
I've smoked pot 3 times in my life, but I don't use any drugs.
Mm-hmm.
That's the answer. I don't have to go, I don't use any purple drugs. I don't use any.
I don't use Nexium.
I do not like them, Sam. I am.
Oh my gosh. Excuse me. Holy crap! But yeah, that was like I said, I was interested. It was funny because I was taking my mom to her doctor's appointment, and she had never seen your face. I remember I said in a chat like a couple weeks ago, I said at first she didn't like you, Ethan, because when I tuned into a stream one day, and you started like cussing. You were like, "God damn, fuck," for some reason.
Oh, I must have been mad. Yeah.
Yeah, and she said, "Why does he talk so ugly?" My mom's a boomer.
Yeah.
And then she saw your face today. She started like coming around to liking you and stuff. And she saw your face today. It's like, "That's him." It's like, "Yeah, he sounds young." I was like, "Mm-hmm." He said, "But he looks so old." I'm like, "Gee." I was like, "Mom, he's only like 6 years older than I am." I'm like, "Oh."
I look so old. I know. It's like my audience consisted of 20-year-olds. When I first started out, and they were all so disappointed when they saw my face.
Mm-hmm.
But I know they're like, "That's you. That's not what I pictured." I'm like, well, see, in radio, I mean, that's the thing. Like, and this is true for everyone. Even John Malin. Like, I had the same reaction with John Malin.
Mm-hmm.
You listen to people's voices, and you get to kind of imagine or project your own fantasy version of what you're listening to.
Yeah.
And women get away with this a lot too, because women all have beautiful voices, and you don't want to know. You don't want to know what they actually look like. It's never going to measure up to what you imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people thought of me as like a young 25-year-old smartass.
Mm-hmm.
And then you actually see me and you go, "Jesus God, you look like Santa Claus. You're ancient." And I'm like, "Well, I'm 45. That's way too old. That's way too old for these millennials." So I had to. I mean, initially, I was like, I'll just never show my face again. And then I kind of went, "No, we have to push through this. People need to know what I look like." And that's what some of the early YouTubers that I was talking about said. They said, "Get your face out there as soon as you can, so that people know what you look like and they're not upset." And then on the other hand, you had your boy Zach at Diversity in Comics, who was like, "Never show your face." The reason why I don't show my face is nobody wants to look at a man. Nobody wants to look at a man. It's disgusting. I don't want anybody to see my face, and I don't want to hear. And then the other thing was like, then voices started to skeeve him out. He'd be like, "Your voice sounds like some guy who's coming up behind me in a hot tub and wants to give me a rub down."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "That's strangely, oddly specific, Zach." We're gonna have to get over all of this, like faces and voices. We're just gonna have to deal with it. But that's YouTube. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, see, I don't know. You kind of lucked out because if people go by just my voice, I get mistaken for being like 10 or something.
You go to the store and get mistaken for being 10. What are you talking about?
That's true. I did get mistaken for.
Remember, you told me that. It's like, "Excuse me, young lady, what are you doing in the hall at this high school?" "I'm here to pick up my son." "Oh."
I've had people ask to talk to my parents when calling my phone.
Well, looking young is a good problem to have, I think.
Oh, I got somebody just unsubscribed. They found out I'm not actually a black man. That's you have your meme, I have mine. Ever since 2014, people thought I was black because I have this southern accent. And
yeah, if you told me you were black just now, I'd believe you.
Yeah,
I didn't picture that though. Yeah.
The only people who didn't think I was black was like two female friends that said, "He's just southern. Leave him alone."
That was me. I was like, I was confused when you said that was a running thing. I was like, why?
There's chat rooms. There's like old chat history. It's like, "I thought you were black." I'm like, I mean, that'd be fine. It's just I'm not.
Yeah. What about Evil Bob the Almighty? Because are you black, Evil Bob?
No, Native American.
Yeah, he's from Canada, but he's 100% Native American. Yeah.
Well,
close enough. You are. His facial hair doesn't connect, so
no, it doesn't.
So he's definitely Native.
Oh, I see.
I jokingly call him my bona fide Apache war chief. I said one day we will. Well, he wants to be. He actually. I don't know. Have you ever heard of a term called Day of the Rake?
Day of the Rake? Me? No.
Oh, Day of the Rake is
looking forward to it.
Yeah, the Day of the Rake is the joke when the United States will finally invade Canada.
Yeah.
And Bob here is a sympathizer. He wants to be raked. He wants to become an American.
Oh. Yeah. Come down and be an American. Yeah. No, don't. We got to build a wall on our northern border too. Southern and north. We got to keep Canadians out. Yeah.
We'll let the natives through, though. He's got blood. He can.
All right, if he can prove that, that's fine.
He probably knows more like American history than I do, in all honesty.
All right. Which funeral was what presidential funeral was Teddy Roosevelt present at?
Well,
and photographed at?
It wasn't McKinley?
No.
Wow. Was it, the only other one was Lincoln? Could have been.
Yes, it was
Yes,
Lincoln.
it was. Yes, you're right.
As a child.
Because it was him and Franklin were in the same building at the time, or the same room, if I remember correctly.
Possibly. I don't know. But he was a child in this photograph of Lincoln's funeral procession going down a busy street, and he was in the window looking out. I don't know how you prove that, but,
yeah. I mean,
nobody argues it.
Yeah, but I said McKinley because he was the vice president. I was like, I would think he would be at the guy's funeral.
Yeah.
Can he come to your own president's funeral? What's up, Teddy? What's up? What's going on?
I think he was pictured at his own funeral too.
That might be. Yeah, if you don't show up at your own funeral, you're just being rude.
Right. I plan to be there for mine.
Yeah, it's the most unavoidable thing. I mean, that's one thing you will never be late for. I don't know. War campaign will figure out a way to be late. Those poor guys. Everybody tunes in. I was like, wow, they're 30 minutes late, but it's okay because they're entertaining. They're fun.
They sit there and talk to each other. I was on one of their shows where I was going to be there from the start, and they just sit there in the green room and gab at each other for I'm like, guys, you want to start? Like, there are people waiting, but they're not done. They're having a conversation for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, Michael Beacon wanted me to show this. Let me get this set up. Because he thinks this will be the solution to all our problems. Share. This is on Wenger's stream earlier too.
Oh wow.
It's Print Cube.
It's $3 million.
Well, no, you buy it.
It's backers.
Yeah, backers.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Print Cube's $109. But
I thought this was eBay for a second.
You just get two of these. Two fist them. And print your comics.
Yeah.
Honestly,
problem solved.
Yeah.
Save so much money.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you might never, Ethan, you might never draw again because you'll have so many hand cramps. But
yeah, it looks like it would be painful. Can you press the play button and see the demo?
Yeah, let's see this.
How's this work? Meet
probably terribly
Cube.
over.
Click,
connect, click, slide. Boom! Look at that.
Yeah.
It does. It does things in a straight line.
Oh, printed on everything. Look at that.
Print Cube.
This is awesome.
So, I see.
Yeah.
That actually is really cool.
Well, it's not that cool. It works the same as a label maker, from the 1970s.
But I printed it.
Yeah, that is true.
Can you imagine just printing CyberFrog on all that stuff? Just all right.
Just put the logo everywhere.
That'd be like how gangs will tag their territories. You can have one of those and just do a quick print of CyberFrog on buildings and stuff. Like, here you go.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. This Print Cube. Print Cube. Why wouldn't it just be Print Cube? Why is it Print Cube?
Yeah, that doesn't.
Print Cube.
Print Cube.
F you.
Yeah.
Maybe they just thought Print Cube would be too easy.
That's too normal. We need to hipster this up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we always got to have hipster BS these days. We got another video.
How to start and upload the picture by Print Cube.
Oh, you use your phone, isn't it? Oh, everything's connected to the phone these days.
Yeah, I guess you do the design in your phone and you upload it to the cube. And
oh yeah, let's see.
Upload to the cube.
Oh yeah, put it on the cloud. No, instead it's the cube. Okay, let's see this. He's gonna get his picture here. All right.
I want to back this so bad. I want to back this, and I want to harass the people who are making it. Like, where's my Print Cube?
Yeah,
where's my fucking Print Cube?
Where's my print Cube? Fix this. The good things. Fix this now. Or the God things. Look at this. This pretentious people. It's Mike S. Miller.
The God things. Oh.
The God things. Oh,
God of all things.
Yeah. Wonder if they're a member of the God Squad. Yeah, this is really easy.
Looks like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm rolling my fucking eyes here. What are you doing?
I'd rather just hand write it.
Yeah. Well, Ethan, you're an artist. You could actually draw this.
Yeah, just draw the logo right on it.
Yeah. He's like,
no, I'm not backing this. You guys talk me out of it.
See, that's what we're here for. We want you to make sure you save your money. You know.
Yeah. You need to buy a massive offset press.
Yeah. It's only $61,000. I mean,
I'm not buying it.
Good. How many videos is this playing out?
Well, look, they need to deceive their investors.
Yeah, they made $3,173,000. They did good.
Yeah, and apparently it just ended too. It was just on November 11th. So
yeah,
it was just the other day. Nice. Well, I mean, you know, somebody will want it. I mean, obviously, because how many backers? 20,000 backers. So
20,284 people who are going to realize that they bought something that doesn't do anything that a label maker from 1972 didn't do. Well done.
I still got one of those label makers.
Yeah, they were good.
You had to click it in, you like, you know.
It took a while, you know, but I mean, it was worth it. You know, then you had a kind of a heavy sticker with white raised lettering on it that said, keep out. It was good for labeling your vintage pornography. What else was it good for? What else are those on? I mean, you know, now when you see that lettering, it looks creepy.
Yeah,
there's something spooky about it.
Got to show Man and Lunacy. Apparently, Billy Tucci's Return of the Warrior is live now on Indiegogo. Had to show it off for everybody. A Man in Lunacy got banned from Mike Miller's chat for telling everybody to vote for Mike.
What?
Yep. Yeah.
It just seems self-defeating, you know. That's like the definition of self-defeating.
I mean, well, he made that. I don't know if you saw that tweet from the other day. I don't know how much you keep up with him now, but he made a tweet like, "Look, if I've banned you on my channel, I'll unban you." And I was like, that sounds like the musings of a desperate man who realized he probably banned most of his paying customers.
Yeah, this guy, he's a couple times on his live streams, people have shown me this. They take screenshots. He and Edwin actually showed, you know, their YouTube page that tells you what users are banned, and that's one thing. You know, you don't want to show who's been banned, but also what words have been banned.
Oh yeah.
Did you see this?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw it. Fudge and
just delete it.
Every reference to me, my own name has been banned from Mike's chat. So if you type in, "Hey, where's Ethan Van Sciver?" or just Ethan or EVS or anything like that, your message won't go through. He has literally banned mention of my name on his YouTube chat.
The cope.
Yeah, that's a big cope.
I'm sorry, but that's beyond insecure right there, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's a little wacky.
That's why, I mean, the whole poll thing, right? You know, him making that poll, that bugged me so much. I'm actually working on a video right now about how stupid that was. And it's kind of expanded because I realized I could make this really funny. I'm hoping to debut it tomorrow. But yeah, you can ask these guys. I showed them a little clip just recently. It was some dude who's been. Now here's the funny thing. I took the guy's name off his tweet, right? Because I don't want nobody getting, you know, fussed at or whatever online. But this particular guy, he had been going after you for a solid 2 months about how terrible you are, right? How you're a horrible person, how you don't fulfill what you're supposed to do, blah, 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 blah. Well, apparently you blocked him on Twitter, and then he called you a coward.
Oh yeah. I give people a couple shots at me. I'm very slow to block people. But if you're just persistently an a-hole, and it's like if your whole purpose is nothing but to try to like get under my skin, you get 3 shots at it. So make them good, and then by the 3rd one, I just go, okay, you're blocked. You know, at some point. And
there was this other person. They were like, I finally got blocked by the Frogman. I didn't even do anything, and then of course the people like that one lady from Pa. was talking about, yeah, you're such, they always cheer each other on. You notice that they always try to build each other up. It's like, you're a good person, you're great. Don't worry about what Ethan says because he's the devil, kind of thing.
Well, and they call War Campaign a harassment movement. Yeah. I mean, that Pa woman actually has a whole like Twitter page. It's called like Queen Bean or something like that. And I looked at it, and it's just like, I'm here. I'm going to see how long it takes me to get blocked by Ethan Van Sciver. Ha 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 ha. Then I'll, and it's like, that's well, now I can't block you, but I mean, it's like, that's harassment. It's like,
yeah.
What are you going to do? Like you're admitting that like your entire whole thing is to like harass people. And then you want me to be like upset that you're being harassed by War Campaign or anyone else. It seems like you guys are just harassing each other, and I'm over here off to the side, kind of catching some flack. F you. Not to put too fine a point on it, but F you.
But like I said, the funny thing was this particular person, they said, I got blocked. They were laughing. I got blocked by the frogman, blah, blah, blah. And they said, well, why would you do that? He's literally one nice. And I went and looked. I said, it literally took me 2 minutes to find something where he was like calling you an asshole or something like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything except, call people assholes. And and this is a creator too. So, it's whatever. Great. Yeah. But yeah, what was that?
These people are all their worst enemies.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, very self-defeating.
I always look at this. Okay, I said this one it was in a private talk with somebody. I said, take for a moment, if Ethan just left, like he was just gone off the internet, right? He just disappeared, and then the entirety of Comicsgate people, like we're talking about like Tug, people like that, just went away or stopped talking about Comicsgate. What would you people do then? Y'all would turn on each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they would do. I don't know. I don't see. I consider myself here in my own little row house. I'm not, I'm in my own lane. I don't really look. I don't swerve into other people's lanes. I find people are swerving into my lane though quite a bit. Yeah. My lane is just, hey, straightforward. If you want to be a part of what I'm doing, what my belief system is with regards to Comicsgate. If you want to be a part of, this effort to create comic books that compete with Marvel and DC, that get funded, that are profitable. If you want to come on my show, and also, being on my show requires loyalty to this club, to this cause, which basically means that you have to promote other people's books. You have to give back as much as you take. If you can't do that, you can't be a part of what I'm doing. But this is what I'm doing. If you're invited to be a part of it, let me look at you. If I like what you're doing, I might invite you on, and we'll promote each other's comics and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's basically what I do. I don't know what the problem is with anyone else. I'm not really sure why this is an issue for some people. I did this live stream in my car, and I'm just like, a lot of people think that like their complaint is that I came in and took over Comicsgate. I did no such thing. I kind of just said, I was just kind of blacklisted from mainstream comics because of my belief system. And because, Trump just won, and a lot of people are angry about the fact that I celebrated that. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to punish these people. I'm going to punish the mainstream by doing what they're doing and doing it better. I'm going to do my own comics. I'm not going to do what they're doing. What am I saying? I'm going to do the opposite of what they're doing and actually succeed.
Yeah.
And so, that's kind of what I did. And my YouTube channel grew, and people joined, and people were excited about, being a part of this. And no time did I tell anyone that they couldn't do what they were doing either. I just think that it's just a matter of, what would it be a matter of? Popularity.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm supposed to just go away because my channel got too popular. I can't do that. That doesn't make sense. They wouldn't do it either. I'm going to continue doing what I do, and I hope people kind of grow up and join up and want to be a part of this, because I don't see anyone else doing it really as well as Comic Artist Pro Secrets is. Mm-hmm. I don't see any other channel making people $3,000 on their campaigns for a single 2-hour appearance on a live stream. I don't see anybody trying to do that, really. I don't see anyone effectively causing that to happen. So if I were to go away and just keep everything for myself and keep all my efforts to myself, it wouldn't be hurting me. It would be hurting a lot of other small creators, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I'll go away and I'll just talk about Cyberfrog and I'll say, I'm not Comic Skate anymore. Comic Skate hurt my feelings and I'm not Comic Skate anymore. Okay. I'll do that and just promote Cyberfrog and probably do pretty well. But, you know.
Well, there was that one day you did, you know, that whole day you left Comic Skate. And,
an entire day. Yeah. Because like a dummy, here's the thing, like, you know, these guys kind of argued with me and said, this is the consumer movement. You can't say you're Comic Skate. At the end of the day, and I just went, maybe they're right. I don't know. You know, I'm, you know, all right, fine. I'm not Comic Skate. And it was actually a relief for like a day. I was like, whew, yeah, I can just let go of this and just kind of, and you know what happened? As soon as I did that, Renfamous, Tim Doyle, Gail Simone, Kurt Busiek, Mark Wade, Daryl Ayo, what's his name? Kwanzaa. They all threw up, Mags Visaggio especially, threw a big hurrah. Comic Skate's dead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
As soon as I left, Comic Skate was dead. They were so happy. They were so excited that like I left and that meant Comic Skate was dead and they were celebrating. And at that point, I told my wife, I said, I owe it. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. I can't let a couple of people talk me into, letting a bunch of social justice motherfuckers, these wackos, these people that persecuted me, persecuted your boy Zach, persecuted John Malin, persecuted Donald DeLay. I can't let these people win. I can't. I have to be Comic Skate. I have to be there. I have to kind of keep fighting the fight because when I go, it looks like everybody thinks it's dead. So, you know.
Well, see, it's funny. I remember when you made that video, and then that night, ironically, Mike Miller did a stream, and whereas I think he had John Malin on, and of course, you know, Malin's ride or die. It's time, you know. He's like, okay, Ethan's not here, but we can still go. You know, that's just John Malin. I found he's just that kind of.
He's awesome.
He just keeps pushing. You know, he's somebody's gone to the wayside, but you know, got to keep going. Mike looked worried. Of course, this is before any falling out you guys had. But I think he was worried because, to be honest with you, probably saw the gravy train coming to a halt.
I don't know. Mike's whole thing is just, you know, I think Mike really, Mike sees himself as an alpha dog. Mike isn't a follower. Mike kind of was hoping that he wouldn't have to depend on me. And I think having to depend on me, I think doing his YouTube channel, it's not really growing. It's, you know, he really does well when he's on my show, and on my show, we make fun of him. I think it wore him down. You know, I think he didn't like that. So he finally kind of did what he could to sort of push himself away from me.
Yeah.
And, you know,
he had to do it in a spectacular fashion too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Because it would have been one thing, you see, I don't know. I just being me, you know, as you know, being a man, you know, a real manly man, not a these are manly men. That's why I asked you the other day, and I that was $10 well spent, sir, to have that stream put back up because I got the clip I needed from it. So thank you.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Because that, I mean, they, you know, these two saw it earlier. That clip of you and Micah and Cecil and Carlo Rowe and Wanger and Adam Friend just laughing after Doug said Mike, you know, Edwin and Mike Miller are manly men. It just
that was weird. Yeah, and Doug. The thing about it is Doug knew that he was making kind of a joke there. I mean, that's the like Doug knew he was taking the piss, and you know, come on now. Nobody thinks Edwin is a manly man. I mean, you could say what you want about Edwin. I mean, he has a lot of good qualities, but you know, Edwin is not. All right, you know.
Yeah, I get it. It's like, okay, I wanted to bring this up. A man in lunacy in the chat said, let me go back here. I just want to touch on this. I'm doing a live plea for you. He says, I'm actually blocked on your Twitter, EVS, but I went pretty hard at you over the Pride tweet. I would appreciate if you would consider unblocking me.
Who is this? What's his name?
It's a man in lunacy, and it's his at would be A_man_in_lunacy.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't. Did he say he's blocked on Twitter or YouTube?
Twitter.
Yeah, he did say Twitter.
This guy probably annoyed the hell out of me. If you got blocked on Twitter, what did you do, dude?
This was now there was a couple things going on at that point. Of course, the Pride tweet happened, right? And I think people say you can't tell Mike Miller what to do, and it's like actually you probably should have because he does dumb things.
I think people misunderstood that whole thing.
I agree with you.
I'm trying to find a man in lunacy here. It says no results. All right, I'll find you.
Yeah,
but no, Mike. See, here's the thing. Like the problem is having personal relationships and friendships and catching feelings about people when you're in a kind of business situation here. Because Mike was a personal thing to me because I've known Mike for a long time. We were never really friends. In fact, I don't think we liked each other when we were working at DC. We had arguments about religion and his viewpoints to me were ridiculous. Mike believes in the literal translation of the Bible, like a literal understanding of the Bible. But by literal, it means what Mike thinks the Bible might mean. Like it's like he thinks that the snake in the garden talked, and therefore all animals talked, but gradually lost the ability to speak over time. I can't fuck with that. That's ridiculous. But that is what Mike believes. So Mike thinks that elephants spoke English at some point and just forgot how. Now, so Mike and I would have a lot of fights about stuff like that, and I don't think we really got along. But when I was blacklisted from mainstream comics, I knew that Mike was too. And Mike came to me and said, "I'm in real trouble. I'm like 6 months behind on my bills, and I need help. I need help." Now, at the same time, I'd had kind of a religious awakening of my own. Terrified of being blacklisted from comics. I knelt down and prayed with my wife and felt really empowered and felt like I was going to be given direction and we were going to be able to get through this. And thus the idea of doing Cyberfrog happened. And here's Mike just saying, look, I prayed and I'm coming to you. And I'm like, all right, I got to help Mike and I got to help his family because he's got all these kids. You can see him in the background of all his videos, which is really annoying. He's got a wife, he's got a house. So, I decided to kind of take Mike in. Now, I know because I've known Mike for a long time that, Mike's mouth gets him in trouble in comics. It loses him jobs. Mike says things like, pride is a sin with regards to gay people when he knows full well there are a lot of gay people in comics and not all of them are destructive SJWs. Some of them are really nice people who buy comics. So you don't say things like that. But Mike has this thing where he wants to fuck with people and then he wants to sort of just go, well, it's my religion. You're persecuting me for my religion. And all of this would be fine if it wasn't for the fact that he's broke and he's in real trouble. And, his Comicsgate is his last stop. It's like, this is it. This is your last chance. And this is either like rags or riches for you. You're either going to fail miserably here and be in real trouble, or you're going to succeed gloriously and possibly be wealthy. So please just shush. And I wouldn't say this to everybody. I wouldn't say this to people that I don't know very well or wasn't personally invested in, but I was personally invested in Mike as a friend. And I'm seeing him shoot off his mouth and do stupid things like the Mike Waringo thing, which pissed off the entire industry, pissed off the few people that he had left in the industry who were looking out for him and still giving him work. They were it was infuriating to everyone. And it was a visual spectacle. Him laughing over it and still profiting off of it was really, really bad optics. But Comicsgate stood behind him. Look, we're family. So Mike does the Pride tweet, and I don't find out about it until 5 days later when somebody says SJWs are planning to run with this and just again call Comicsgate homophobic. And I lost my mind because I'd been working really hard to sort of promote the idea that Comicsgate isn't homophobic. We care about all customers. We just hate SJWs who are not customers. So that's the image that I want Comicsgate to have, so that I can function in it, and normal people will come in and be a part of it. And the other thing is, I know that Mike keeps doing these things that are going to make himself unemployable soon. So I lost my mind. I yelled about Mike doing that. I yelled on Twitter, and I yelled at him personally. And what Mike did was he spun around and he said, "See, Ethan hates Christians." And so, I mean, it's just like, okay, so now you're going to take a bite out of me for this. I'm trying to protect you, you dummy. I'm trying to help you to stop hurting yourself and shooting yourself in the foot. And again, you can't stop just shooting your mouth off. So then this became a whole thing. Doug Tenaple, who was already planning on getting revenge on Comicsgate because he felt ill-treated by Comicsgate and War Campaign, he hooked up with Mike about Mike's grievance about Christians being abused. Doug Tenaple starts promoting and energizing Mike, to further this narrative. Doug and I get into a fight, but we hash it out on Nick Rekieta's show. And at the end of it, it's just like, all right, look, Nick, Doug, your fans are upset. My fans are upset. We need to kind of just cool it and walk away from each other and not get involved with this. We'll just let it drop.
Yeah, I watched that stream. It was that was the only. I think that was about the only thing amicable y'all both came up with.
I fucking hate Doug Tenaple. He's an asshole. He's a scumbag. But I don't want to fight with him either. I mean, I don't want to. He can do his own thing. I wish his thing wasn't like, fully involved in trying to hurt me. I'm not trying to hurt him at all. But, he's trying to do that. So I just said, let's just leave it. And then it's like Mike goes in and does an EFAP narration of our fight. And he wants to bring up why me criticizing his pride is a sin tweet was anti-Christian, and why I'm wrong about everything. And
that was funny because that night when he started, because he had to, if you notice, he had to stream 3 different times. And the first time, his internet cut out, and I yelled in the chat because I thought this was dumb. Right. And, I was a fan of Mike at the time. And I was like, Mike, this is God telling you to stop.
Well, that's what I think, too.
Yeah. It's like, you need to stop.
That one time, Mike was like, Jesus has got my back. And I was like, you prayed to Jesus and Jesus sent you me. Do you understand? Like, Jesus sent me to you to help you, and you're destroying it. So, so I said to Mike, that's it. That's just it. It's like, you see that I've had a big fight with Doug. You see that my fan base is split. And rather than being a friend and just being like, I'm going to pull back and not, even if I have something to say, I'm not going to say it. Mike went ahead and made 3 big, huge video streams, like looking in the camera and being like, no, Ethan, that's not the way it is. and just being basically like a dickhead and kind of kicking me when I was down. And at that point, I just said, I'm out. I'm done. I can't. I don't know what else to do. Like, you're somebody who's gonna, shoot yourself in the foot, and you're gonna shoot anyone around you. And the idea that all of this comes from pride being a sin, and Mike being unable to recognize his own pride in not being able to accept help when it's being offered to him is the ultimate irony. But yeah, I can't. I'm just. There's still something in me that's like, no, you're supposed to help him. You're supposed to help him, and it's like. This guy's he's just gonna continue to do this, and that's kind of the problem. So
yeah, it's a thing. Like I had similar friends back in the day they would be an asshole to me and stuff like that, and forgive them, keep trying to help them, forgive them, and eventually it's like, I just can't deal with you anymore. It's not good for me, and it's not good for you in the long run.
Well, you're supposed to turn the cheek, right? But I mean, you only have 2 cheeks, and then at that point, you gotta run for your life. And with Mike, like, it's like, unless I want to spend all day long, bad mouthing Mike and trying to bring Mike down, I don't have to do that. Mike is going to bring himself down. And I mean, I used to date a recovering alcoholic in my 20s, and so I went to some AA meetings with her. And I learned a few things about a few things. And one of the things I learned about this kind of behavior, and alcoholism is just like any obsessive behavior, and it is driven by pride. People do need to hit rock bottom before they can change.
That's true.
People with this kind of behavior, they actually do need to find the bottom and whatever it is, whatever the ground turns out being, you can't really have a true awakening until you've been humbled by hitting the ground. And so in a way, it's like, all right, look, God, if this was part of your plan, I'm backing away from Mike. He's in your hands now, and I can't help this dude because he wants to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he wants to take me down because I made memes saying "Hey Mike, hey Mike" and showing him phallic shaped cactuses.
Yeah, which those are hilarious streams, by the way.
Popular, yeah. Everyone liked those.
You showing him a cloud and it's like, hey Mike, look at this cloud,
shaped like a dong, and he'd be like, yeah, Ethan. Anyway, and then the audience would go crazy. That was funny. Like Mike doesn't understand like what YouTube entertainment is. Like I'm putting on a very entertaining comedic show, and you're gonna get memed on. But Mike's like, no, I'm here for my ministry of the gospel and also art. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see.
I have because that was another clip I grabbed. I was, the whole him changing his channel and everything like that. And this is a point I made, and I'm going to have to clean this up because I came off, I think, when I recorded it, I came off a bit almost angry sounding, and I don't want to do that because I do want it to be funny, right, and not be too beating him up. But I'm listening to him talk about changing the channel name from Blacklist Universe to what it is now. I think it was like art something with Mike S. Miller.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, and of course, who's on that stream with him? Mike and Edwin and Doug. And they're convincing him to, yeah, Mike, go ahead, do it, Mike. Especially Edwin. He's like, Mike, you got to, you realize that you need to put your name on it, okay? Right? Put your name on it, okay? Right? Put your name on it. Because, right? Okay. I went back and looked at the sales of Injustice. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. The sales of Injustice and okay. And they were selling really well. All right. Edwin's not my best impression, but I try.
It's not bad. It's pretty good.
but I'm literally convincing him to put, I was like, okay. And the point I made was that Injustice was a multi-million-dollar video game that had a comic book attached to it, essentially.
Yeah.
The only reason, I don't say the only reason, but the biggest reason it sold was because people were interested in the story from the video game.
Well, it's all DC characters. So it's going to do well.
Yeah, DC characters that are like, most of them are evil, like Superman, an evil Superman, that's going to sell. That's going to do well. That's different.
Yeah.
But Miller talk crap about your boy Zach and EVS is an EVS pawn because of the GoFundMe. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
that's another conspiracy theory that I own Zach because I have to GoFundMe for him, and this is more. These guys all talk and create conspiracy theories. Zach's my friend because I stood up for Zach. Yeah. That's why Zach and I became good friends, and Zach actually said I'd take a bullet for you, which is something not many people say to me. So I was like pretty happy about that. He said I would take a bullet for you. Why? Well, because I've never stabbed him in the back. And I know a lot of people can't relate to that in Comicsgate, but I've stood by him when it was detrimental to my career. I stood by him, and I always will, and I respect him, and
because you said that on your stream earlier where you said, you had industry people telling you don't associate with, Richard C. Meyer. He's gonna, blah, blah, he's a terrible person, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I see no evidence, and this is like when I was hearing about what he was saying. I said, if anything, he's just kind of gritty, as far as his humor. I'm like, that's not anything to like crucify the man over. Right. But then again, like you said, when you're dealing with like SJW weirdos and stuff, that's the only option for them. It has to be cancel. It has to be crucifixion. They got to.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think they need to. They have a playbook, and we've all seen it now. The playbook when it was being used on Zach, and the playbook when it was being used on me seemed really new and terrifying. Now that we've seen it a few times being used on other people, we can identify it, call it out, try to shame the people involved, bring attention to them, create a counter narrative, swarm them with our own, people. to make it stop so that they can't do this to other people. And that's another strength of Comicsgate. But when it was happening to Zach, you know, it's like, yeah, Zach was being critical of people, critical of what was going on in comics. A very real comic book conspiracy was going on. And because of that, because of his pointed criticism about how editors were hiring people based on their skin color, based on their sexual identity, based on the fact that they were attractive young women and they were old, fat men, you know, things like that. And that caused them to want to literally kill and assault this man who's just sitting there making videos on YouTube. They wanted to hurt him. And you know, one of the things that they do is they like to isolate you. So if they're choosing to isolate Fizz Giggity, what they're going to do is, first of all, they're going to send her a message. The first thing they do is they send you a message or 2 or 3 from people who kind of know you, and they say things like, "I used to think you were a good person, but I'm shocked at how horrible you are and what you did. How do you sleep? How do you live with yourself? How do you?" And now what they're trying to do to you is break you down and get you to be in a state of apology, because you're not used to hearing that. You're like, well, if somebody says this to me, I must have done something really wrong. Then what they do is they go around to everyone who knows you, or they'll spread the thing around. Fizz Giggity said that she hates cats. How could she hate cats? What a bitch. Then they go around to all of the people who know you, who associate with you, and they go and talk to them all individually, and they create this shaming kind of isolation effect that draws people away from you or makes your friends afraid to associate with you. And it is a terrifying thing when you're actually in the middle of that. Now, this was happening to your boy Zach, okay? And they were trying to do this to me. They were saying, you get away from him, you know, or it's not going to be good for you if you're with him. And I wouldn't do it. I said, fuck you, I'm Comicsgate. Now, that was a big, big deal because there were only a handful of people in comics that were even close to declaring Comicsgate. So when I said I was Comicsgate, I was now targeted for destruction too. And they did a hell of a good job, you know, destroying me. You know, they spread around rumors and gossip to get writers to be unwilling to work with me. And that's a deadly thing. They used all their sources in the media to write smear pieces on me at a time when DC Comics was A, trying to merge with AT&T, and B, trying to announce that they just hired Brian Michael Bendis. So there was this competing thing. DC Comics artist Ethan Van Sciver is a Nazi, and DC's trying to put out this nice story about, you know, Bendis. So they did a fucking horrible, a bunch of horrible stuff to me. And all through this, it's like the only 2 people in the world who were friends, and like Zach and I just talked, and we kept each other sane through this. You know, because you need a friend, you need someone who understands what you're going through when this is happening. Now, yes, of course, I created a GoFundMe for Zach because of what Mark Waid did to him. Nobody else would have done that for him, and he needed my help. And I would take a bullet for that guy too, anytime. And
I think we could all agree that Mark Waid, it was high time somebody stood up to him, because
he needed it.
Seriously, with his laundry list of stuff he's done to people, I don't know how he still gets employed, honestly.
Well, I don't think he really does the way that he used to either. He's lost he has given up a lot of respect and a lot of ground in mainstream comics for this. But of course, there will be people, there's still SJWs that are going to defiantly hire him. But we need to punish him for what he did. Now, that's the thing. So the idea that Zach is under my thumb for anything is, a profoundly stupid idea. And it's something that you would have to be a complete asshole to spread around, and look who's spreading it around. So
let's look at, I always look at it. Let's look at this logically, right? That's the way I do it. I said, this is a guy who enlisted in the military twice. Once as a Marine and once as, in the Army, right?
Yeah.
And has served in war zones. And you're going to tell me that a comic book artist in New Jersey has him under his thumb.
Well, this is a guy who was, threatened by the entire comic book industry.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a guy who has never budged, or never allowed himself to be manipulated or controlled by anyone.
Right.
So why me?
Yeah. Why all of a sudden is your sweet, your sweet whisperings in his ear is enough to.
I got him $100,000 on his GoFundMe. That must mean he's forever in my debt.
Yeah.
Or I can tell him what to do. Or, I mean, by the way, if I ever do anything that he thinks is morally reprehensible, he's going to say so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about Zach. Zach got my comic book Dawnbreaker, and he called it shit. I mean, it's like, and he's my friend, but he's just like, look, I don't, this is the thing. If I'm going to review it, I'm going to be honest. So,
Yeah, that was, well, see, I remember.
A better friend than most, to be honest.
Yeah. I remember a particular situation where it had been, and I'm sure you probably saw this going around, where people were saying, I mean, I thought, even though Zach doesn't say it, because of course he's not on Twitter. I mean, that's why he doesn't have to say it, right? Because he's not on Twitter anymore, which for him, good move. I'm kind of in your camp. They're going to have to kick me off. They're going to, I mean, and I'm going dragon, I'll be going down fighting. I mean, if I know I'm about to get banned, it's going to be a fight, but, anyway. And, the whispers started going around. Well, Zach doesn't even talk about Comicsgate. Zach's not Comicsgate anymore. Zach doesn't talk. And, he said he doesn't even really like Ethan. And of course, the people who were saying this, the same weird, I think the day he come out with that post on his YouTube channel where he says, I am disassociating myself with that Diversity in Comics fan channel on Facebook, because I know the people who run that kicked the beehive, and they thought it was your fault.
Oh, no, I didn't even know about it. What happened was they were doing to him. It turns out, first of all, Zach left Twitter because Zach has stalkers.
Oh yeah.
One of them is a gay man from Germany.
Oh my.
Who basically is in love with him and threatened to show. He has his address. He threatened to show up on Zach's doorstep. He's the one who turned over the dark roast. Like, he's got a love-hate thing with Zach. It's crazy. Zach has stalkers that are like legit insane.
That's scary shit.
Yeah, so he's like, by being on Twitter, he hates SJW Spider-Man. He hates Renfamous. He thinks these people are really legitimately dangerous. And his whole thing was, I can't, these people are making me feel sick inside. They're making me feel sick. And I've talked to him about it a bunch of times, and I said, I understand, but you can't let it get to your heart. You need to be there and you need to fight and not cede ground. He's like, I don't feel mentally well when I'm on Twitter. I mean, essentially, it's like this is the illness of Twitter. And he left because he just didn't. I mean, it was awful for him. He was just suffering from the abuse he was taking. And I know exactly how it feels. I feel the same exact way. You feel anxiety. You can feel depression from it. People constantly attacking you, making up lies, rumors, hating on you. What they call A-logging. You know what A-logging is?
No, tell us. I don't know.
A-logging just means somebody just issuing irrational hatred against you, over the top emotional hatred that makes no sense. That's what these guys do. And I mean, yeah, it does. You can if you let it get to you, it can wear you down. But on the other hand, I decided I'm not ceding ground. The minute I leave Comicsgate, what happens? People celebrate. No, Comicsgate's dead. What's going to happen if I ever leave Twitter? It's the same kind of shit. And I'm too stubborn for that. I'm not giving these people any victories. I'm not ceding.
That's why I'm still here.
Yeah, Piper had a run-in with Rennie Pooh too. Because Piper had a legitimate beef.
I criticized Gail.
Yeah, she criticized Gail Simone. How dare she?
Yeah, I used to be Gail's fan, and then she, for attention, basically decided to do some just flat out rude, childish bullshit to me, even though I was her fan. And I criticized Gail, and Ren didn't like it.
Yeah, literally a week of them harassing Piper.
That was a month.
It was a month, yeah. But we did a stream.
I remember that, Piper. I remember that. Now, yeah. So much crazy stuff happens, Piper, that it's I forget and I move on, which is how I stay mentally healthy. I forget this shit as soon as it's over. But I remember you being harassed. You bet. Good for you for surviving that.
Yeah. But we did an entire stream. Now, this is the funny thing. Now, it's just like we're here now. I'm leading the conversation because I guess as it is, I'm the host. right?
Evil Bob is talking way too much, though.
Yeah, he's just like stupid chatterbox. Come on, Bob. But I'm leading the conversation. I'm showing screenshots because they're all saying, "Show us the receipts." I was like, "Well, tune in tonight at 9 p.m. and you'll see the receipts, right?" And they said, even though my face, my avatar is the one talking the most, and Piper is interjecting where she needs to explain what was going on with certain tweets and things like that. They say Piper was just trying to get traffic to her show.
That I was announcing or faking that a sexual assault to get attention for this show too. That was so fucking stupid.
Yeah, they faked her actual documented sexual assault because she wanted views.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
It is.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was a rough time for her. It was last year, wasn't it? This time last year.
It was around this time last year because I know that I had criticized Gail, and the next day or the day after, it took Ren a while to find it.
Yeah, because
Ren found it on my birthday last year.
Birthday, right?
Yeah. So I'm bored. I hop on Twitter and I'm like, what the shit is going on?
Yeah. And then there was that was the next one. You probably didn't hear about this one, but this one's pretty mild compared to that. But Piper got called a bad mother by Mike S. Miller one time.
Why'd that happen?
Yeah, that kind of pissed me off a little bit.
Well, her child was and was he 13 now?
He is 14 now.
14 now. Okay.
He was 13, I think, when he
So Piper's son was acting out. And by acting out, he was doing some thievery. And some of the things he stole were things that women use to pleasure themselves.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, when I was 12 or 13, I think I went through a shoplifting phase too. It's just something that happens.
Yeah, but he was stealing it from Piper.
Yeah.
Piper thought she had him in a lockbox, but apparently it wasn't locked enough.
Yeah.
So she did, on Twitter, and it was kind of like I'm showing what they did, and at the same time, kind of dunking on my son a little bit for being stupid. Nobody knows her son's name, by the way. If you've never mentioned his name on stream, we wouldn't do that to the kid, right? Even though he thought it was funny. He thought it was freaking hilarious.
Like when he hits a certain age, I won't mind, but I don't even show pictures of him. I don't type his name. I just say my kid.
Yeah. And so she shows a picture of the stuff he stole. And she's like, I want to remind y'all he's 13 and, he's got this stuff. And there was a legitimate concern. It's like, what's he doing with them? And you find out she talked to him and said he wasn't doing anything with them. He was just stealing them. Right. He was
he was making a shame basilisk.
Yeah.
Essentially just to shame whoever was digging through his stuff.
Yeah. He's like, you got to put your hands on it, LOL. Right? Somebody, Guys, Dark Mercenary in the chat says her son is a member of War Campaign now. Well, he was stealing dildos, so I mean, but no, and that was going on. She got a lot of flack for that. It's like, how dare you do this to your son? Because there were some people who were like saying disgusting things.
Oh man, dude, some of them got banned from Twitter for what the fuck they were saying.
Ended up getting banned because they were saying stuff like she was doing things with her son and stuff. It was disgusting.
Yes,
absolutely. Dude. But then Mike comes in, Mike in his virtue, and says, what did he say, Piper? It was something to the effect of, I feel sorry for your child.
What an asshole.
It was just rude as shit. Like, we don't even follow each other. The most I paid attention to Mike was on Ethan's streams. So I thought he was a pretty cool dude. Like, okay, he does his comics. That's awesome. And so he came kind of like that came out of left field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I remember Piper and I were talking backstage before a show, and we were talking about it. And I says, it's funny if I'm a guy who has like 5 kids and he was nearly bankrupt a year ago to talk about feeling sorry for
somebody.
I'm just saying. How about worry about your own family, Mike?
For real, yeah.
And that's what I tell. Like the last interaction I had with him, because he when he did that whole, if you're following me just because if you're following me just because of Ethan, then I want you to unfollow me. It's like, all right, I hope your kids are doing well.
Yeah.
I want him. It's weird. I'm kind of like you. I want him to have success because I don't want his family to be hungry. Right. I also don't want him investing his children's future in Bitcoin.
Oh my God, yeah.
So in that regard, I want him to be successful, but at the same time, he's doing I just don't see any way he could be successful long term doing what he's doing. You know. So that is what it is.
God humbles fools. I think
that's true.
That's the way it is.
Most of my followers, when I tweet, goofy shit about my son, they understand that that's what I do. I dunk on my kid.
Sometimes he needs a
little. Because Twitter is because Facebook is where my family is, so that's where I'm all good and wholesome, and Twitter is where I vent. So, besides tweeting opinions, I dunk on my kid, and everybody knows. So the fact that so many people flipped out. And I think it was because Mike found it. Because when he found a tweet, the things got weirder. So
it basically calmed down, and then it started all over again, right?
Yeah. Because there was a couple of people that were like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And but most were my followers going, "Yeah, that sounds like your kid, haha," and funny crap. And then and then all of a sudden, dude, I was getting DMs that were disgusting. Those people were definitely ones that got banned, though.
Yeah, because I think they got the wrong idea, and we're sending her videos of stuff. If you get my drift.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've noticed from what I've understanding for females on the internet, they either get one of two things: they either get dick pics or disgusting stuff like that. So
there were apparently some accounts that did not quite understand and outed themselves as pedophiles in the process.
Oh God.
So that's how they got banned. Is I flat out
we if anything, Piper exposed a bunch of pedos doing this. So
I went through, and there's Twitter hides it for some reason, but there is a way that you can report people for child exploitation or pedophilia and stuff like that. And so I was reporting what they were sending me because what the fuck?
Like a super back end page of their support.
Yeah, actually, Mike had to find it for me that day.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's annoying to get to.
I mean, Evil Bob.
Whatever.
Too many mics. One night I had this mic, Evil Bob. I had Mike Murphy on, and I think Micah Curtis. That was a confusing night. Like Mike, no Micah, yeah.
I had Adam post and Adam friended on, and that was a mess too.
I think I remember that you were like Adam, and they were both like,
They both answered,
that Adam friended guy. He's been watching him a little bit. He seems like a cool cat. He's very level headed.
I like the way he kind of makes sense of stupidity. You know what I mean? He kind of will he'll pull it together for people, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, that interview he did with George was
that was a lifesaver. That was amazing. That was amazing. Yeah. And I mean, that's the kind of thing that isn't going to happen very often because people like George are going to shut that down. Like once other people like George see that Adam Friended is going to be skeptical of your nonsense. Yeah, it gets around. Don't talk to him. He's with EVS. Do not talk to Adam Friended. He is just another shell of EVS. He's just
another person you have under your thumb, obviously.
Yeah, of course. And so that so it's like that interview is great. It's going to stand the test of time. Yeah, we exposed that dude as a fool.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I went and looked. I said, okay, now I'm curious because we all heard the story. I got kicked off of Reddit. I'm like, well, that's actually a good thing. Because being on Reddit is literally almost cancer. But I said, I'm curious, and I'm gonna go look back and see what this was all about because we only heard his side of the story. And he said they came after me and this, that, and the other. And I looked, it was literally people just telling him, it's like, dude, you're just driving this joke into the ground now. Because he did like 3 comics on the same joke. Different panels, obviously, but it was just like, the same joke. And like people say, all right, you're just kind of diving this ground, dude. It's like, it was funny the first time, but now it's kind of getting old. And that was they're attacking me. Really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I did. Yeah. I just, for some reason, I got curious. I said, I got to find out. I said, because now what we've seen in the last like 3 or 4 months, since
it makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah. And it's like, and then, yeah, and of course, the whole thing with War Campaign and how, they tried to turn you against War Campaign and all that stuff. And I bought into it. I'll be honest with you. I bought into it at first. I'm like,
well, so did I. I mean, so did my wife. I mean, we did. And then we, again, this is how they trick other people. If they can trick us, they can trick, anyone who isn't so invested in it. But, we made a mistake. We had to just like walk that back. Like, whoops. Sorry, War Campaign. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they're good fans. They're being lied about, and there's a reason for it. There's a reason why there's a conspiracy against them.
I think it was it you? No, or it might have been, no, it was Adam Post who made a very good point. No, I'm sorry. Take that back. I'm give credit where it's due. It was Tweeter Trash when you had him on your show the other day, which very good. He has very good archiving skills of finding stuff. But he made the point where he said, when all that happened, when everybody was against War Campaign, and of course, you had, believed what was said, and you said they're not going to be on my show anymore. I'm not going to their show. That's it. It's over. They didn't turn on you.
No, they didn't. Their feelings were hurt.
Yeah,
I got a lot of messages from them, just like, we never meant, and all this stuff, and I was just like, oh man, I know this feels bad. Like this feels wrong.
Yeah.
Like what just happened feels wrong. When you make a good choice, it feels right. That felt wrong, and I couldn't sleep for 3 days.
Yeah,
it was awful. It felt awful about what I'd done to them.
Because I remember you said something. Your wife had said something after the fact. It's like they were the only ones who stood by you, or something like that.
Yeah, they're loyal to you. They stand by you, and she told me, like she said, look, they're the only ones. They've been right every single time. I mean, every time they warn you about somebody, they turn out to be right. So it's like when I told her about the Nurkic thing, she was really upset and confused. And I told her about Praetorian, and we were just like, well, how could we have been so wrong? We weren't wrong. We were right. We were right about War Campaign. So never again. I'm not going to be I'm not going to have people whisper network bullshit and hatred into my ears about people who have been good to me and my family and try to get me to turn on them. Never again. It's like, make a mistake once, don't repeat it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it showed Caesar was human.
Caesar is mortal. He forgot that he's mortal.
Oh yeah, that's probably the new one. Ethan no longer thinks he's immortal.
Well, I mean,
you lost your mortality. You lost your immortality when you grasped Confiscate with both hands.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I couldn't wait to lead Confiscate.
Yeah, I'm thinking, okay, you got to look at that with some logic, right? So it's like he couldn't wait to. I said, okay, guy working at DC Comics, doing fairly well, I would assume. I don't know, exactly your financials. That's not my business, but you were prolific. I'll put it that way. I know a lot of people who would go to comic stores and buy your cover just if you did a cover. You didn't care what the story was in. So, I can assume doing decently well. So he's going to toss that all away to get ridiculed for the rest of his life.
Yeah, to be attacked, to be demonized, to be made fun of.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, why not? I mean, that sounds like fun.
Good investment. People, you're just doing it for the money. Oh my God. It's like shutting up and not fighting back against SJWs maybe would have been a better decision for me, but it's not who I am.
Yeah, it's kind of like me. It gets to a point I just can't keep quiet. It's like, look, this is stupid. I said, you're all mad because a crazy man became president of the United States. That's it. And that drove you all crazy and insane. You think the world is literally going to end. Which I find funny. I was listening today, and I'm kind of like you. I remember you said the other day, you used to listen to like the political stuff, Rush Limbaugh, things like that. And I usually, I had tuned out for a long time because I said I just don't want to focus my life around this all the time. It's okay in election years because that's when we're gearing up. But I was listening today. I said I'm curious because this whole impeachment thing is going on, and it's literally still. I don't know if you remember the meme, Ethan, but there was an meme going around when he became president. And of course, when he got elected, every single day, it was like, this is the beginning of the end. It's over for him. It's no longer, this is going to be the end of the Trump presidency, or even before that. Again. Yeah, or the campaign or whatever, right? They're still we're nearly to the next election, and they're still saying it's nearly over. It's
well, they're saying the same thing about me and Comicsgate. I mean, the weird thing about it is that I'm enduring the same kind of shit that the president is, but it's always like, this is it. Don't you understand? This is the beginning of the end. This is when you let it all slip through your fingers. This is when Comicsgate died. You killed Comicsgate today, Ethan. It's like you've been saying this since 2017. It's still here. It's still going. There's still new people all the time, and it's still fun for me. I still enjoy it. So I'm not, I'm not going anywhere.
Well, it's like
I do have to go, guys. I have to run. I promised I would go on the Jack show.
I got shoot. Why am I going? I want to watch the Jack show.
But I wanted to come on here. I know I wasn't scheduled tonight, but I'm sorry for missing the one.
Absolutely fine. I have to ask you if you could come again sometime on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I'm probably not Tuesday. You do the High Council Tuesdays, right? I don't want to.
Yeah. But I mean, send me the link anytime, and if I can, I'll drop in.
Okay, I appreciate that because our friend Xavier, he's like always like, I want to talk to you.
He's going to be really upset. He spent the most money, I think, out of all.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here on YouTube, right here on Twitter. So, send me a link, and if I'm able to, I'll come in and talk. You guys are fun to talk to.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. We very much enjoyed you coming on tonight, sir. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye, chat.
Bye.
See ya.
Well, that happened. God, it took me. I said, while I was getting, you have no idea while he was inviting him. I was like, don't fanboy, don't fanboy, don't fanboy, don't fanboy, don't fanboy.
That was me. When he actually popped in, I dropped my freaking drink. So I was spending a lot of that cleaning up soda from like everywhere.
Yeah,
and making sure my tablet was okay because it spilled on it.
And of course, Mike, he's just talking to him like a regular dude. I don't know nothing about comics.
Well, no, you could tell I was panicking a little bit there. Like,
I saw you started like, and then you unplugged your mic, or the cat did, and it's like I think that gave you a minute to calm down a little bit.
Everybody's going off to the Jack show.
Yeah, I believe that's on. If anybody wants to know, that's on that Star War Girls channel. It's that Star Wars girl. Okay, I'm gonna get her name right. She's Anna. She's a sweetie. I don't know if y'all have ever seen her show, but she's nice.
She is. Yeah. So many other people that are like fangirling out. Yeah.
It's like, well, I like this. People said it's like, well, I'm outie. Let's see. Peace.
Yeah. Well, we're following him. Bye.
Yeah. But it's cool, man. That was cool. I enjoyed that.
Rapture was mad.
Yeah, Rapture was like, oh, can't believe you cowards didn't
Yeah, he was saying it the whole time.
I know. I apologize, dude, but I don't like to try to interrupt the guests too much, especially one that like that.
Yeah, if he stops by a couple more times, he could probably get in the groove of BSing and laughing and shit.
Well, yeah, even then, I think he was doing pretty good.
Yeah, should get him to play the Florida Man game sometime.
You are right. It is on. I'm going to make sure, but I think Kevin Spladey is correct. I think it is on Kelsey's channel. I'm going to make sure. Blah 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 blah. Yes, it is on Kelsey Shannon's channel. I will get a link. I'm linking to other people's streams. Get out of here! What are y'all people doing here? Paste. Cast. What is this? Paste. There you go. All right. Yeah, go to that channel right there. Support Kelsey Shannon because he's been through a lot. One day, I think we will go through that. That'll be very interesting. But anyway, so.
Wait. Okay.
So I think we'll go ahead and end for the night. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank y'all so much for coming in. Once again, thank you, Ethan Van Sciver, for coming on. And like I said, we'll send you the link once in a while, and we'll Hope you like your streams. Consider subbing. Exactly. Yes, please consider subbing, checking us out. We do fun stuff like this all the time. So look forward to tomorrow. I'm gonna bang out the rest of this freaking video and put it out there. So because I think it'll be you can ask these guys from what they've seen. I think they enjoyed it. So
yeah, we're rolling out a lot of cool stuff come 2020 too. So like 2 is an also.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, thank y'all so much for coming in, and we will see y'all tomorrow night, hopefully. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.